just a couple things I have to show you that I ran into today about symbols and symbol editing. But before I get to that, I do want to mention a little bit about this project. So this is a switching regulator lab again. Now, if you have noticed, you might have noticed, I think it's about a 9-part series on building a switching regulator from a data sheet. So the concept there was to build a circuit, something that you need that's based on some type of an IC that has a data sheet that has a typical application circuit, something that I could make as real life as I possibly could, rather than, hey, let's do a lab on a voltage divider or something, right? So, as it turns out, that by the time we got everything done, the whole process, through the videos, it's all good, all the information is great, except a couple things, and they're kind of biggies. Some of the calculations are not correct, so that's okay. That would make a good video in itself, to go back and review the calculations and get it right, and that still might happen later down the road anyways. But the other thing that was just kind of killing me, as far as getting it across to anybody else, was the size of the chip that I picked out. So it was an NB679, and this one here, in contrast, this one is about 5 millimeters ish, 8 legs, regular kind of, dip style. That one, the NB679, I believe it was about 2 millimeters by 1.5 millimeters, and there was 10 pads under there, QFN style. So by the time I got the boards back, we start soldering onto this hot air rework station, everything. It works fine, but you can't really tell if you did it right or not. And then down the road, if you have any problems, then you start speculating that maybe you didn't solder it right, or maybe it is some other issue. So decided to pull up, stop, reevaluate, and come back and do something entirely different again. Well, pick a different chip and start all over from scratch. And in the whole, realistic realm of things, I think that in itself is pretty real, that you make a decision on something, you realize that there's pretty much a catastrophic mistake, and you change over to something else. So that's where I'm at now. Then I guess one last other thing that's kind of a bummer about the whole deal is I originally was making this whole series in the NB679 switching regulator lab for a small work group that I'm a part of, and we're trying to learn this, figure this all out. And it kind of wasn't intended to be put out to the public. I was making it unlisted, but then, hey, I thought I'd put it in a playlist to make it easier for everybody to look at. That's also, by the way, why if, at this period of time, you look over and you find out that there's no comments, it's because of that reason. It wasn't for the public. But anyways, guess what? You put an unlisted video into a playlist, well, then everybody can see it. So it's out there. I'm going to slowly go through those and just start turning them back on, making them public for everybody so everybody can see them. But there is this change at the end of the story, So don't follow along and go buy everything, I guess. Unless of course you want to give it a shot and try to work it on your own. All right. So moving on to this then. This right now, we've got a transistor that needs to go in here, a MOSFET, and the schematic looks something like this. So it's a lot less complicated, a little bit less complicated, but very, very similar to all the different typical application circuits you're going to find on a switching regulator. Now we need this symbol, but KiCad does not have it doesn't have a simplified plain, little MOSFET symbol. So I started making one. And in the course of that, I wanted to show you what it looks like to edit that. So we'll go here, and in my other library, this is going to be the second point that I'm going to make. In my other library, I have my N-channel MOSFET. So we go here, and this is what it's like. It's not finished yet, and there's a reason for that. Then what my main problem here was that I really couldn't tell exactly what the scale was. You know, I can see the numbers down here that tell me the value about how big it is, but I didn't really know in relation to, you know, what it was going to look like when I dropped it into the circuit. But as I started to draw these lines here out, you see my grid, the grid defaults to 50 mil, 50 thousandths of an inch. And even, by the way, that it's in millimeters, it still comes out to that. I'll show you in a second. So if I go like this, if I say I want to make a line, well, I wanted it to be right in the center here. You know, I didn't want to have it to be offset. And so I thought, okay, well, I'll make you know, a line right here, and then I'll make another one up here. And as you can see, my symbol is going to start to get very large. By the way, this is a good size right here. So as you can imagine, this is going to be, you know, quite a bit larger than that. Okay, so what you want to do, here's the big, you know, kind of, you know, cut to the chase here, is that you come up here to general options and you could change your grid size, but that's not what this whole thing is about. That's really just kind of an incidental point of this. So I change it down to 10 mil, and now I can get in here a lot tighter, and then I can say, okay, well, let's see, how about 1, 2 up, 1, 2, and how about, I would like right there, okay? And that's what I did here. And you start making all of your symbols everywhere, or all your lines and your shapes for your symbol. And then you get to placing your pins. And so you say, okay, I want to place a pin right here on this, and we'll have it, you know, point up. We'll call it pin, who cares, right? 3. And you say, okay, and then you get this. So it says, this pin is not on a 50 mil grid. It will not be easy to connect in the schematic. Do you want to continue? And by easy, they might mean kind of impossible. So if you say yes, and you go ahead and you place this, you can get it right, well, whatever, right on the thing, and you'll have a pin. But the problem is, since I changed it to a 10 mil spacing, the regular grid in your schematic, in the regular editor, when you go try to connect to it, it won't do it. Really, I guess I better show you what I mean. So if I take this now and I move it over, I can move this wherever I want now. I'm going to screw myself up. Yeah, we'll just move it over a little bit. Save that. Exit out. We'll place the thing out of other libraries. I'll put it over here first. So now this is the pin that I've moved, and when I try to connect to it, watch. I'll go here, we'll snake this around down here, and I try, you see what's happening there? I can't get right on it. Even if you had it in line, well, it just never seems to be quite right. So you see what they're talking about is if you don't leave it in the 50 mil grid size, you're going to have a problem. So let's go back and we'll fix that. And now we get to the next thing. So we got to go back here. So now, by the way, when you change it, it only is temporary. Okay, so now that I'm back, it's in 50 mil spacing, and I guess that's kind of okay. So now I could just move this back over, and now we'll be good because it's on the right grid line. All right, but if I need to make the rest of these lines, which is why it's not finished here, I need to make the rest of the lines to these pins. I can't do that with the 50 mil spacing because I can't get, that one will work. That one will work too. But this one, I can't get right in the middle of that. And that one right here, I can kind of get on the end close enough for whatever, but I can't get right on that line. So all you need to do really is once you get your pins placed, this is the whole thing that I'm trying to say. What the hell is going on here, by the way? Whoa, 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 whoa. Pay attention. Yeah, so see, I can't, yep, I can't even do that one either. Wow, how come you guys didn't yell at me? So you come up here and you go to general options and you change it back to 10 or whatever was good for you. And now that your pins are placed, now you can come in here And I should have started over there first. There you go. So now you can place it and you won't have a problem with your pins not being able to connect. Okay? But you'll still be able to draw a reasonably sized symbol that doesn't take up half your sheet. All right, so that does it for part one. The second thing I wanted to show you came up in the course of me making this short little video. I wanted to move this project off of my memory stick and put it into my home folder here. A thing that you might want to do. Well, it's really I can't express this, I think, in just a few words here. The art, the attention to detail that you have to have in order to keep similar databases in different locations is kind of a big no-no, but sometimes, you know, for whatever reason, you might have to do that. So I need to get, here's what I need to do. Let's say I need to get that symbol out of the other library, wherever it may be, on your memory stick, on a server somewhere, or something like that, and you need to get it onto your other location. Well, as it turns out, as far as I can see, I can't find a good way to do this. I can't just take this. There's got to be a better way somewhere, but you know, I take this and now I want to save it. I want to save it into this library right here. But I've got add existing library, create a new library, got create a new symbol. Well, I've got import and export. We're going to end up using export, but it's not easy. And well, I don't understand how come I don't have anywhere on here, not save library as, but why not save symbol as? I feel it's got to be here. Any rate, here's how I figured this out. If you're having a problem with this, if you need to move just the symbol, see, I don't want to have another library. I could copy the library folder or the .lib file and the DMG or whatever file. I could move that over and put it somewhere, but I don't want to have multiple libraries. I want this in there. So I'll come up here, I'll hit export, and I'm going to place it over here in libraries from somewhere else. That's that one. And I'm going to place this lib file somewhere. Okay. I can even just leave it loose. How about that? I'll just leave it loose right here. Hit save. And now the library file is in my computer loose. So then you see over here, here is my, well, two of them, right? The lib file and the DCM file right there. But again, like I said, I want these to be inside of the actual, this is just another library now. So what you're going to do is you're going to come back over to here and you're going to say import. And you're going to import that library that you just placed in. Now it'll be there. Now you can hit save and now it's good. Okay? So that's the little trick there in case you're trying to move your stuff around from one place to the other and you're trying to aggregate stuff. I know it becomes really easy to end up with a library here and a library there and multiple files all over the place, and eventually maybe you want to, you know, collect them all over into one. So then I guess I'll go over here and just go ahead and add it in just to kind of finish this off. Not in the history, we go to my regular library. There's my N-channel MOSFET, and now I can place it in here. Oh, what? Then that's it. I really just wanted to kind of make a short little video from time to time on these little things that are happening, because I know that my whole channel has been kind of, you know, nothing but hour-long plus videos, and I try to keep them short, but it doesn't feel right to me. So I will try to add in more day by day, day in the life of kind of things that I'm running into. If I could, you know, just turn the thing on for a second, record what the hell I'm doing, say check that out, and get the hell out. Anyways, I hope that helps. Thanks a lot. Oh, wait. I did have another thing I wanted to show you. So, yeah, this is how we turn into an hour. when you're editing your symbols here, they don't have any kind of a menu. They got no drop down. They don't nothing to tell you. But what you can do is you can come over here and say, I want this line right here, edit circle options. I can come up here and I can tell it that I would like it to be maybe 1 millimeter. Whoa. How about 0.3 millimeters? A little bit more bold, stand out there, get your attention, and then right click on edit line properties here for the arrow, and I can do the same thing here, or I can say fill the foreground, fill the background. You don't get to pick your color, don't know why, but if I fill the foreground, then I get that. That's cool. That's kind of what I was after. If you want this that you might be used to seeing around, okay, that's the fill the background. We'll go with that. Right? Save that. Now, as far as this project goes, if you do want to follow along, I'm not going to be quite as detailed as I was with the last one. I think what I would like to do is get the whole thing just mostly completed and refer back to those other videos as far as the basic operations go. You know, add a thing, click a thing, build the materials, etc. I'd like to just probably get it done. So I probably won't have another video for a little while on this topic, but I'm going to get it done. I've actually already got my parts done, ordered. They're sitting right here next to me. And we'll get this board finished, built up, and then kind of do a consolidation video of the whole thing. But if you are interested in a project, this is it. So this is the one that we're after. The Rictech RT7258. Here is the simplified application circuit in all the specifics right here. So more on this later, but if you want to look it up on your own so you can kind of see where we're headed, this is there.